bayot ka, gamhanan, tag-iya sa linog, lipak, sunog, baha. Those are the words that keeps on hurting me because myself, I am a victim of bullying. And today, allow me to discuss to you the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. This is your reporter, Giancarlo Perez. Republic Act number 10627, the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013, an act requiring all the elementary and secondary schools to adopt policies to prevent and address the acts of bullying in their institutions. There are 4 types of bullying: physical bullying, verbal bullying, social bullying, and cyberbullying. Section 1. Short title. This act shall be known as the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. Section 2. Acts of bullying. For purposes of this act, bullying shall refer to any severe or repeated use by one or more students of a written, verbal, or electronic expression, or a physical act or gesture, or any combination thereof, directed at another student that has the effect of actually causing or placing the latter in reasonable fear of physical or emotional harm or damage to his property. Letter A. Any unwanted physical contact between the bully and the victim, like punching, pushing, shoving, kicking, slapping, headlocks, inflicting, school pranks, teasing, fighting, and the use of available objects as weapons. B. Any act that causes damage to a victim's psyche and or emotional well-being. Letter C. Any slanderous statement or accusation that causes the victim undue emotional distress, like directing foul language or profanity at the target, name-calling, tormenting, and commenting negatively on the victim's looks, clothes, and body. And letter D. Cyberbullying, or any bullying done through the use of technology or any electronic means. Section 3. Adoption of anti-bullying policies. All elementary and secondary schools are hereby directed to adopt policies to address the existence of bullying in their respective institutions. Such policies shall be regularly updated and at a minimum shall include provision which: A. Prohibit the following acts. Number 1. Bullying on school grounds, property immediately adjacent to school grounds, at school-sponsored or school-related activities, functions or programs with their on or off school grounds, at school bus stops, on the school buses or other vehicles owned, leased, or used by a school, or through the use of technology or an electronic device owned, leased, or used by a school. Number 2. Bullying at a location, activity, function, or program that is not school-related and through the use of technology or an electronic device that is not owned, leased, or used by a school, if the act or acts in the question create a hostile environment at school for the victim, infringe on the rights of the victim at school, or materially and substantially disrupt the education process or the orderly operation of a school. And number 3, retaliation against a person who reports bullying, who provides information during an investigation of bullying, or who is a witness to or has reliable information about bullying. Letter B. identify the range of disciplinary administrative actions that may be taken against a perpetrator for bullying or retaliation, which shall be commensurate with the nature and gravity of the offense. Letter C. Establish clear procedures and strategies for number 1. Reporting acts of bullying or retaliation. Number 2. Responding promptly to and investigating reports of bullying or retaliation. Number 3. Restoring a sense of safety for a victim and assessing the student's need for protection. And number 4. Protecting from bullying or retaliation of a person who reports acts of bullying, provides information during an investigation of bullying, or is witness to or has reliable information about an act of bullying. And number 5, providing counseling or referral to appropriate services for perpetrators, victims, and appropriate family members of the said students. Letter D. Enables students to anonymously report bullying or retaliation, provided, however, that no disciplinary administrative action shall be taken against a perpetrator solely on the basis of anonymous report. Letter E. Subjects student who knowingly makes a false accusation of bullying to disciplinary administrative action. Letter F. Educate students on the dynamics of bullying, the anti-bullying policies of the school, as well as the mechanisms of the school for the anonymous report of acts of bullying or retaliation. Letter G. Educate parents and guardians about the dynamics of bullying, the anti-bullying policies of the school, and how parents and guardians can provide support and reinforce such policies at home. And letter H. Maintain a public record of relevant information and bullying or retaliation in school. Section 4. Mechanisms to address bullying. The school principal or any person who holds a comparable role shall be responsible for the implementation and oversight of policies intended to address bullying. If it is determined that bullying or retaliation has occurred, the school principal or the designated school officer or person shall A. Notify the law enforcement agency if the school principal or designee believes that the criminal charges under the revised penal code may be pursued against the perpetrator. Letter B. Take appropriate disciplinary administrative action. Letter C. Notify the parents or guardians of the perpetrator. And letter D. Notify the parents or guardians of the victim regarding the action taken to prevent any further acts of bullying or retaliation. Section 5. Reporting requirement. All schools shall inform their respective schools division superintendents in writing about the anti-bullying policies formulated within 6 months from the effectivity of this act. Section 6. Sanction for non-compliance. In the rules and regulations to be implemented pursuant to this act, the Secretary of the Department of Education shall prescribe the appropriate administrative sanctions on school administrators who shall fail to comply with the requirements under this act. Section 7. Implementing rules and regulations. Within 90 days from the effectivity of this act, the DepEd shall promulgate the necessary rules and regulations to implement this act. Section 8. Separability Clause. If, for any reason, any provision of this act is declared to be unconstitutional or invalid, The other sections of provisions hereof, which are not affected thereby, shall continue to be in full force or effect. Section 9. Repealing Clause. All laws, decrees, orders, rules, and regulations, or parts thereof, which are inconsistent with or contrary to the provisions of this Act, are hereby repealed, amended, or modified accordingly. Section 10. Effectivity. This Act shall take effect 15 days after its publication in at least 2 national newspapers of general circulation. This Act, which originated in the House of Representatives and passed on June 5, 2013 with the help of the Senate. In order to stop bullying in every institution, we should always remember the ABC methods of bullying. Letter A. Assess the situation. Seek help. Comfort the victim. Be understanding and evaluate. Letter B. Be the bigger person. Turn and leave. Ignore them. Use kind words and gestures to help the situation. C. Control yourself. Don't make things worse by calling names or being mean. Never use violence. Help make your school bullying free. Thank you so much for listening, and may God bless us all. That's all. Again, my name is Giancarlo Perez, your reporter.